All right, guys. I'm pretty sure I haven't shown you this one yet, but yeah, this is another pretty cool thing that I assembled back in that period when I was putting a bunch of these together, and I had I had a few plates spinning at the time, and wasn't really sure which way things were gonna go, but I started looking, and I think I found the neck first, and that's what kind of got me going, right? And and so then I think I ordered the neck pickup because I'd already had a recommendation for one of these. I placed an order for a hand wound neck pickup, and then a few days later, guy got back and he said, "Oh, I don't have any more chrome covers." He was pretty busy at the time, and so you're gonna have to either wait, or I can give you this nickel thing. So I was like, yeah, sure, But while this was coming, I happened to run into this body, and once this thing came, and the body was still on order, but then I realized, oh, okay, I see what direction this is going in. So then, yeah, then I picked up this. This is a road worn pickguard scratch plate here, and the body. I'm not sure. It was listed as a USA body, but I don't know. I mean, it doesn't have the whole. Doesn't have the three. So maybe it predates that whole system, right? All of this, as far as I can tell, is fake. This actually I can feel a little. I don't know. I don't know what happened, but it's got the this on the back. It's got a little chip out of here. Was it already like coming with the relic from the factory, and then this happened? Who knows? Neck plate is aged, so yeah, and I think the buttons are aged. The screws, yeah, I think I got it. Yeah, I got a couple of aged screws, but then I was just like, I don't know. I'm just gonna put some, and so I put the worst offender right here, is hoping that eventually it would get a little, aged just by being right here by the knob. But it was after everything was built that I realized that this is kind of an Andy guitar, right? A little bit. The action's a little high right now, but lazy. But anyway, I remember the first time I saw him playing that thing, and I was just like, guy could really play, and actually, learn some of the stuff that he knows, and cool guy. And I didn't realize this until very recently, but there could also have been another type of person that might have seen Andy up on that stage and been consumed by envy, right? Maybe they want, instead of doing the work and learning about guitar and playing guitar, I'll just pretend that I could play guitar, and I'll just like borrow or steal their cool, right? And for whatever reason, so I think I ran a Scotch thing or something over here, just to try and scratch that up a little bit, and I was gonna tell you, it's cool. Action's a little high right now, like I said, but you can get sort of an idea, right? Other than that, I guess you ever get like, not writer's block, but like, I don't know, tuber's block, something like that. Yeah. So yeah, that's a thing. But yeah, it's not burnout. No, no, far from it. But yeah, I just so I had a couple of little thoughts, little ideas, little memories that popped up, and hoping to offer some chill vibes. Not quite story time, but just a couple of little memories. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll do some chill vibes. I'm just gonna go with it, and you can make of it what you will. But these are a couple of little memories that came to mind. First one goes back pretty far, back to the high school days. Picture, if you will, a lone cellist practicing, rehearsing, preparing for a performance on the stage of a high school auditorium. And you're okay. Let's say this is the stage, and the cello player's right here, right, facing this way. And you're outside, out front, hanging out with some of the drama kids, because the auditorium was sometimes used for rehearsals. So it was, I think, it was still lunchtime, but they were just kind of hanging out front here, by the two main front doors. And, sitting kind of in a circle on the concrete, right? The ground basically. Sitting on some are sitting on the ground, their backs against the wall. Got maybe a couple of snacks in the middle. But then you just hear the faint sound of that cello coming through those doors. It's the tiniest bit. So everyone else is chit-chatting, it's all good. But then you get up and you go back, around the auditorium to the side here, because that sometimes this door is open for ventilation, right? And now you can really hear that cello playing. You go in the door quietly because you don't want to disturb them, because you don't want them to stop, because it sounds so beautiful, right? So you walk in and you sit down real quiet on one of the little seats, right, over here, somewhere right here, and you're watching them practice. And that sound of a cello in the room with you, and you sit there and you listen till finally you scoot your foot a little, it makes a noise. Oh, what was that? Interrupted the cello. Oh, hey, how's it going? Hey, sounds great. All right. Anyway, I won't disturb you. I'll leave, right? So you go back to hanging out. Sometime later, it's performance night, right? So you come in, the main doors, and people milling about, finding their seats, standing in little groups, chit-chatting, it's just this little, the little, what do you call that? The chatter, right, of little conversations going on. Find your seat, sit down, right? Things begin. Orchestra comes in onto the stage. Everybody sits down and gets real quiet. Conductor comes out, takes a bow, and there's a round of, polite applause. Conductor turns around. They begin to play. The music is not perfect, but it's beautiful. So the room is full of music. And you sit there and you listen. They finish the piece. And then the conductor turns around again and says a little bit about the previous piece, the next piece. And as they're doing that, the chorus starts to file in onto their little, what do you call it, bleacher type things. So once the chorus is all in place, the conductor of the orchestra nods at the conductor of the chorus, and then turns around, begins the next piece. And then you have the orchestra joined by those voices. You guys remember voices, choir, chorus of voices in the school auditorium? That sound. The sound of that one cello that you heard earlier. If you listen real hard, you can still hear that bow on those strings, just like you did earlier when you were sitting there in the afternoon a few days before. The other memory takes place a lot later. This time we're in a city, and you go down this little little tiny alleyway, right, between these two, like, 3 or 4 story buildings, right? And you make your way in, and it's a tiny little stage. Chairs. The stage is set up to look like an early, well, I don't know if early, but probably like a 50s or 60s kitchen. And again, once everyone finds their seat and it's showtime, 2 characters come out, mother and daughter, sitting at the kitchen table, talking about life and stuff. And then, you know, once the story gets to a certain point, the daughter stands up, turns around, addresses the audience, or, you know, faces the audience, begins singing. She's wearing I guess what you call a cocktail dress, something like this. Okay? And I'm sitting probably, I think, in the second row, somewhere around here. And she starts singing. The song is called Crazy. And I was going through a Patsy Cline phase during that time of my life. And I was sitting there, second row, from the spitting image of Patsy. That song is chomping on tin cans, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever those cans were made out of. And so, to be that close, you know, I was convinced, I thought that I was watching Patsy. Because, you know, I mean, she obviously knew her stuff when it came to Patsy, and boy, her voice, boy, could she sing. It sounded so much like her. But anyway, I just want to talk about that, and that's about enough for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and have a nice day.